video. I think I have started it. Yep. Okay, so they can't see you, girl. Alright, so we are live. We are moving. And tonight we're going to be talking about the mighty, mighty mojo hand. This hand is called a variety of things, you guys. It has been called the helping hand, the mojo hand, the gree bag, a juju bag. It's been called a number of things. And it falls under the category of talismans. It falls under the category of talismans because it's something that you have to create. It's something that you formulate with your hands. And it emits a particular type of energy. So it falls again under the category of talismans. Okay? So now there are many ways to make these bags, spirit bags, wanjas and stuff like that, okay? So I'm going to teach you tonight how it was taught to me to make this hand, okay? And this tradition was taught to me in New Orleans. So when you guys go back to New Orleans, y'all going to go visit your priestess, and she will go on ahead and also show you how to fill these bags and pray over them and stuff like that. Okay, so you already have a good start. But how we start is we start with what is known as the block. And the block is a piece of cloth that is cut into a square. And the reason why it picked up the name the hand is for two reasons. The cloth was about the size of your hand, and it also gave you a helping hand. You see? Dimensions vary for this, but one of my favorite to use is the 5x5 dimension. 5 centimeters, 5 inches, however you want to break it down, 5x5. Now let's talk a little bit of hoodoo in this. 5x5. 5 and 5 it creates 10. It's a power number. 5 and 5 is the way that the commandments were written on the tablets through Moses. 5 and 5 in voodoo, we know that we operate off of a 5th dimensional hypercube. 5 fingers on each hand, 5 toes on each feet. 5 and 5, 5 and 5. So, the cloth, it can be a million things that people are going to tell you on what the cloth has to be. You need to select the cloth carefully. Let that be a rule. Regardless of whatever type of Puritan you want to become, and by that I say, do you want to use pure organic cotton that is unbleached? Fine. Do you want to use silk? Fine. Do you want to use polyester? Fine. Do you want to use wool? Fine. Whatever you want to use, however you want to go, fine. If you don't have a preference, if you just like the fabrics for their patterns and their colors and things like that, fine. Go however you are feeling. If you want to become a Puritan, fine. You see what I'm saying? All ways are correct. Just make sure that you formulate. Okay? Alright. So you have your cloth. Select your cloth. What kind of cloth do you want? color does play a factor in it. Color plays a factor in all magic that you do. Color sets a vibration and a tone. Right now we're working with the color gray. Gray is neutral. And just so y'all know out there in TV Landia and Facebook Landia, the direction that we're going with this hand tonight is an open roads and unlocked doors for prosperity and success. Okay? Cool. Okay, so now, getting into the hoodoo part of it again, right? We did the 5x5, Moses, 10 Commandments, and all those things. To begin to consecrate that cloth, to transform it from just an ordinary cloth into something that is sacred and sanctified, you must take that hand, that block, and you must soak it in living waters. Living waters, which is the opposite of the wormwood waters. Now we're going back to biblical. This is your hoodoo part. Your living waters that you're going to recite to use to conjure is any scripture that mentions the living waters. You can recite any of them when you prepare this water. The simple formula for living waters is holy water and Florida water. And you put that in some regular water. Me personally, y'all know I like the thirds method. 1/3 regular water, 1/3 holy water, 1/3 Florida water. That is going to be your living waters. And to consecrate that water, you recite over it. So you take your bowl, you put your waters in, right? And then you pray over it and recite whatever that scripture is that has to deal with the living waters. Okay? Y'all can Google that. That's the favorite thing to do these days, to Google it. Okay? And then you take that hand and you press it down into that water. And you tell that hand, I baptize you in the living waters. And you tell it something to the effect of, you are no longer a common garb. You tell it then something to the effect of, you are holy and sacred. And then from there, you lift it up out of that water. And you say, like John the Baptist, like Jean-Baptiste, I make you holy. Now, some people, and I recommend doing it, some people like to put that to do on a Sunday. And then they set that outside and they let it rest until Monday. They let it dry outside. Okay? Some people need it right now, so they're gonna blow it with the blow dryer. You know, I mean, it's just up to you. There are many ways, but the element of heat, that drying it out, is what's gonna set that consecration into it. Okay. So I'll teach you this skill sometime, but you can take a wet hand and you can place it on a comal, just like a tortilla, and dry that sucker out just like that, right? And just watch it, and even when you begin to see that change in color move out, you can divinate that. Even you'll see it. Oh man, it's good. But yeah, you can dry it out like that on a comal too if you need it like that. Okay. So now we have prepared that thing. We have changed and transformed that cloth and stuff like that. And in that water also, you can set the intent there too with particular things. What we call teas, right, or baths, right, because we're mixing those herbs and things. You can take those sacred waters and begin to put them in there. Financial success water, silver water, whatever. Add them in there at that time too. Splash it, take a little bit of the water and put it on there, before you dry it, but prep it. So now once you have set that consecration in there, what is the next step? The next step then is you can then, just like I taught you with the candles, right? Etching and engraving and marking, you do the same thing with that hand. Now look, I love chalk, this kind of chalk, because it works real good on fabrics. It gives you a little point, and it comes in so many different colors. So today, here, that's for y'all. Y'all utilize that one. Remember, green is good for power. Purple is good for domination, right? For command. And we don't want to, ignore our gold colors. So here y'all utilize that. Okay. So one of the things that we're going to do is, because we're working with these, right? Again, I said I love the 5. So put like this, that 5. Bring that power to life in it. Y'all see how I did that? Right? I use a Roman numeral here. You can use a regular number or whatever, however, whatever, And then here, remember, we're going to open the way, right? So, who opens the way?
Legba.
Legba, right? So, we're going to make a simple veve for Legba. You don't have to get fancy right here. You can. You don't have to, okay? So, remember, we're going to make that, right? We'll make that crossroads because we're opening that way. Remember, points in the center, right? Like that. And remember the cane. That must be the cane, all right? That's Legba. Now, because we're working with Gede, because we're working with the barons, we're going to use on these things also, we're going to use a black rum. I like to use this Bacardi Black. And you're going to use a Pinam. Pinam is a black spice rum with the 21 peppers. Okay? I'll tell y'all what kind of peppers later. Too bad for you guys in TV Landia out there. I can't tell y'all the peppers. It's no big secret. Alright. So look. Now we're going to go like this. Oh, Papa Legba, open the way. Right? Oh, Papa Legba, open the way. Oh, Papa Legba, open the way. Okay? So it's prepped like that. Alright. Now some things you want to consider is the element of air. So patchouli is a good one. So get you a patchouli incense if you can, if you want, or if you need, if you can. I love these little charcoal burning things. Let's turn that on. Ooh, look at that. Alright. Alright. So, lot of times you'll hear this also about feeding it with whiskey and stuff like that. We'll get to it too, to that part on how we keep this thing going. So a fun little tradition around here is the Spanish moss. So get you a little bit of Spanish moss. Not too much, about the size of a $50. Okay, make you a little patty. And now we get into a lot of where the European stuff starts to come in. That comes in with the sigils and the seals and stuff like that. So for those of you that are out there, I always suggest to get a copy of this right here. You can find it on the internet for free downloads. You can buy it. You can buy commentary books, stuff like that. But get you the Key of Solomon and the Order of the Pentacles, and that way, because it will begin to tell you about all those pentacles and what they are for, what days and stuff like that, and so forth and so forth and so forth. So it's a good reference, and all you guys should already have this. Y'all have this? Y'all don't have this? Okay, it's out there, so y'all gonna each take one today, so y'all have this to study, yeah, and to reference. So today we're gonna work with the first pentacle of the moon. That, brother, looks like this right here, and it's really a gate, okay? And it has to not. I'm not gonna tell y'all a lot about it. If you took the class on pentacles, you already have the notes on the first pentacle of the moon. But it is used to open the way, okay? And that's the sigil that you're going to want to use. At that time, you want to select your oil. Some oils I select, I suggest you use is the Crown of Success oil. Money draw oil, because, I mean, let's face it, that's what we're doing the prosperity workings for, right? To bring in the money. And Abre Caminos.
What's that last one?
Abre Caminos, open roads. We're going to work with the medicine known as juniper, okay? So we got a juniper bundle here. Go ahead, baby.
Does it have to be the bundle? Can it be the juniper seeds?
The berries?
The berries?
Yeah, bring some juniper berries out of that cabinet right there. We'll throw some in here too. Alright. We'll set that over there and we'll use it. Some stones, and these are not the only ones, these are just the ones we're working with now. Okay? You can incorporate any of the herbs and stones used for this, and we'll get into more detail. So, malachite, and we're using jade, the real jade. That good jade. No, mama, that's aventurine. You're going to want to use anointing oils for the corner, so we're going to use our Marilla Vol oil. This is the house oil that we have. Y'all get a smell of that. Y'all are going to love it. Some of the gree we're using, we're bringing in some shredded money, because I always recommend, you know, when I have always told y'all, use the currency of the country in which you are in. If you in America, you use American money. If you in Mexico, you use Mexican money. If you in China, you use Chinese money. Okay, because that's the money that you need to come in. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to say no to the euro, right?
Right.
Get you some petition papers. The one y'all are using tonight is gold. So gold attracts. And remember, some things that you need also is some rope, so twine. Get you some simple twine. Or sinew. Sinew is also fun. I love working with sinew. And we need to consecrate those things, so you're going to get you a little money candle. So tonight we're using these little money draw candles to consecrate these things. We got over here the silver water, so I'll show y'all how to use that here in a little bit too. And I got, oh no, where did I set that?
Yeah, what is the silver water?
Silver water is a prosperity water, baby. Let me see. Oh shoot! I'll just bring one from the front. I got a I Ching coin or I Ching coin or however the hell you say it. You know what it's for though. And we gonna use gold magnetic sand. We're gonna make sure this. The other thing you can use too to tie them up with is a different colored cords and stuff like that. Remember, you got to bring in the color, guys. Don't be scared to use colors and stuff like that. You know. I'll go get the lodestone here in a second. Okay. Give y'all a second to catch up there. I see y'all riding a million miles an hour. And those of you that are out there in Facebook land, y'all better be writing too, because I don't know if I'm going to share this one.
TikTok running. Screen record.
Okay, so you got all your stuff. Over there, Monica, there is a green bowl with a incense mix that I made. Bring that for me, please. Oh, there's the key. I was looking for that key.
You want the stones on here too?
No, just the little green bowl that has that. Yeah. So this is a prosperity incense that I made yesterday. So we're gonna put a little bit of that on that coal. That way we can begin to set that intent. And this one has a juniper in it, juniper berries, cloves, and of course y'all know my favorite, a little bit of that self-igniting charcoal. Keep the party going all night long. Alright, so that talisman is beginning to absorb that whiskey that's on the back. Or excuse me, that rum that's on the back. Now, that silver water. Give it a couple of sprays. Let that sit in too. That's good for prosperity and to attract. We're going to go on ahead and set that little Spanish moss there. Alright? Now, on that Spanish moss, then we're going to put that shredded money. You guys can chop it up or put a folded dollar or whatever, $20 bill or $50 bill, $100 bill, whatever you want to put in that hand, okay? And over those things, put a couple of drops of those oils, not too much. I like to use the numbers 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Remember, today we're working with Crown of Success oil, Money Draw, and Abre Caminos. That's open roads. Ooh, and let's light this patchouli one too. Man, what they're doing in there is so smoky. Pinche marihuanos. No, señora, we're voodoos.
Yeah.
Alright. Put a little bit of that energy out there. Just set this to hang on that. I wait. Okay. So now some other things. What are some other types of curios that you can add at this time that you can think off the top of your head that you would add? Let's talk about stones. Right now we have jade and malachite. But what are some other stones that can open the way or attract prosperity?
Even quartz crystal would just clear everything, right? So wouldn't that be to clear anything or anything that's blocking you?
Yeah, quartz crystal, but something else. Give me something else.
What is it called? The fool's gold or something?
Fool's gold, yep. Pyrite. Pyrite's a good one to add to it. What else? Think. Aventurine, right?
Yeah.
So you gave me a good idea. So we're going to put some pyrite in it. Oh, yeah, just like that. So pyrite, think about it. You can use citrine, you can use gold, you can use silver, right? Tiger's eye, garnet. Think of all of the stones that you can use to attract. What colors should it have? What properties should it have? It should be green or somewhere in the green family. Emerald, right? Uh-huh. Anything golds or yellows. Anything silvers. So those are some of the stone elements that you can add into it. Remember, your monies or your coins, things like that. What other types of symbols can you bring in for prosperity? Symbols of prosperity. Symbols of prosperity. Think about it. Come on. Come on, use your brains.
Like a dollar sign?
A dollar sign. Yep, a dollar sign. That's a good symbol for prosperity. What else?
A catechus sign?
A what?
Catechus?
What's a catechus, baby?
Like the symbol for health? It's like health and prosperity, is that a thing?
Like the medical sign?
Yeah, the medical sign.
Let's think finances.
Finance.
Yeah. So we got a money sign.
It's like the biggest one right there.
Okay. What about a magnet? A horseshoe? A lightning rod? A black cat? A clover? A four-leaf clover? The number 13, 777, 333. Symbols, right? Think of your symbols. Now, the reason I say that symbols, you can use these incense holders to engrave that essence of those things. The lucky clovers, right? The number 13, 777, 333, right? You write that in there. You engrave prosperity. All right. Now, the next thing we get to is the herbs. So we're working simple right now. We're working with a little bit of juniper. So this bundle is nice and dry, so we're going to break a little bit off the bottom here. We're going to sprinkle that. Imagine that luck raining down on you. And incorporate those numbers in there. Do you throw 3 pinches? Do you throw in 7 pinches? You know, what are you going for there? Add those numbers in there. Oh yeah, the juniper berries. Fun. Let's do 3 juniper berries on this one. 1, 2, 3. Beep. So now let's wrap it up over here. Use a little bit of this oil. And we set the pillars of the area in which we're going to consecrate these things. We'll bring them to life. Smells so good. All right. Now your petition at this time, if you want to do a petition, what you're going to do is you're going to write on there what you want to bring prosperity and success to and open and stuff like that. Petition is not mandatory. I want you to practice petition tonight for your practical application. I'm not going to add petition tonight to this hand that I'm making right now. Okay? And what is this? What are we using?
Gold.
Gold parchment. Okay, good. So, for tonight, let's work with this green rope. Pull you a good amount. Good judge will be from your pinch. Bring up your arm to your elbow. And match that. And then cut it. I sure can. Okay, so let's talk about this pulling it up, bringing it together. All right? You're going to do it almost like a wonton. Have you ever made wontons?
Not without the rat.
Yeah. Or the cheese puffs, little crab puff things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you bring your corners into each other. See? So we start here, and you bring in. Now that little pentacle in there is of a hard stock, so it's not going to bend so easy. So you got to get a good grip on it. Okay, and pinch that member in there, almost like you're about to make you a real good taco. Okay. All right. Then you bring in your other corner. Bring in from the left. Bring up to meet those corners. You see that? So for those out there, let me get a good angle out there. Bring it in, bring up to meet those corners. And then you're going to kind of secure these guys like that. See, wrap it around. You see how I'm doing that? See that? Wrap it around. Pinch. Bring up this other corner. Like that. Y'all see that? See that? Alright. That should give you this interesting little shape here. Now, pinch, hold it. This, by the way, you guys, this is called the navel, what we're about to do here. There's different areas of the mojo. But begin to pinch that off there. Form that navel. And shape that bag. Go on ahead and get in there. Round it off. That's fine. And pinch it within your hands like this. Almost like you're about to do that magic trick, you know, where they pull all the things out, right? Okay, but no. All right. And then pull some of those out. Give it a little taunt. Even it out. Look inside that navel. See that greed hanging out? I see that money and stuff. Push that back in there with your fingers. Okay? Make that little bag. All right. So now, once you got your hand You got your string. Pull it out. Hold with your pinky. Y'all see that? Hold with your pinky. Wrap over like this. See it? Wrap over like that. And you begin to turn, twist that, and pull. Twist over and pull. And what I put out, so shall come in. Pull. See that energy that I'm doing there, babies? As I put out, so shall come in. Pull. As I put out, so shall it come in. Because remember, that's the energy, right? And then when you tie this knot, leave you enough to tie you 3 times. And what do we say? Ainsi soit-il. What do ainsi soit-il mean? So may it be. Ainsi soit-il. Ainsi soit-il. Ainsi soit-il. 3 times we knot it. Should have a little bit of string left there. We tie these curillos to it. So we still have the I Ching coin. We still have the key. So see, this key in particular has that little loop on it. So we're going ahead and pull that through that loop there. Give it a little tie. Get that I Ching coin. Go through there. Give it a little tie. And the whole time, you talking to it. In your mind or out loud, it don't matter. Remind the key what it's for, to unlock the way, the coin to draw in luck, you know. So there, look at that. Got a little hand here. Okay. Alright. Now, so, you got this tied. Take this Abre Caminos, open roads. Gonna put a little bit on that key and anoint it. Put that, there you go. Okay. And that key, or that coin, excuse me, put a little bit of that crown of success. Andale. Get that string wet too. Put it on that string. That money draw, put a little money draw on it. Babies, these mojos, they're not going to stay clean. You're going to be feeding them oils all the time, rubbing them. Look, do like this. Money draw, right? Okay? Show you a little tactic. Once you get this thing going, you're going to feed it. One way, one tactic. Put a couple of drops in your hand. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Make that friction. That heat. Heat it up. Take your hand and lightly roll that hand like that. See that? Wake it up. Massage it like that. Wake up, little hand. Wake up, little hand. Open that navel. That belly button. And that's where you feed it when they're talking about feeding the mojo hand. put a drop or two or whatever of oil in there. See? Like that. Now, when you feeding it whiskey and stuff like that, you don't feed it through there like that. Okay? You feed it again through the bottom, the way you did it before. Okay? So you put that bottom to it. You feed it like that. Learn that technique. Now you set that on your altar. That altar could be a money altar, an altar to your spirits, an altar to like Papa Gator or Fortuna or Marie Laveau, something like that. Whatever the altar it is that you have that's going to consecrate this. And you're going to set that candle. Now, you don't need a whole big candle. If you want to, that's fine. If you want to do a whole 7-day process, a whole whatever, that's fine. If you need to just do a tea light, that's fine. Don't let anybody ever tell you that, oh, you use the tea light? Oh. I mean, I guess. What you mean you guess? It's fire, isn't it? Shit, you could burn a whole house down with a tea light. Don't play. The important part is that element of the fire, babies. Okay? That's the important part. Because when you set those things together and you light that fire, you're now inviting that energy to come in. One of the things I left out of this one, but I want you to put in yours, is the lodestone. So somebody's going to have to go out there to the shop and pull a couple of lodestones for y'all. When you put that lodestone in, you would put that lodestone in at the exact time when you're using stones. And then you would sprinkle whatever you're going to use on it. So magnetic sand, and this one we're going to use magnetic gold dust, magnetic silver dust, whatever it is that you're going to use, you put it in at that time. And then you continue to feed that through the navel. That's where you apply that through, okay? So when you light that candle, that is going to begin, like I said, draw all those energies that's supposed to be coming to it there. And when that candle goes out, that's the ding in the oven. Ding! It's done. Now, from that point then, you will not allow anyone to touch your mojo. Various rules. You keep it in your right pocket. You keep it in your left bra. You keep it here. You keep it there. Whatever. That's fine. Most importantly, wherever you keep it, do not let anybody touch it. Try not to wear mojos as a necklace outside of your shirt. So don't, if you're going to wear it around your neck, that's fine. But try not to leave it exposed. The other thing I tell you is to be careful with your skin right there. If you're sensitive and it has all those oils and powders and stuff, you may break out on your chest. Okay? So just know that. It's no evil sign. Okay, it's no evil sign that your chest and stuff starting to break out. It's just sensitive. Exactly. You're just sensitive. Okay, you're probably having a damn allergic reaction to the cinnamon powder that you threw in there for that lover come to me mojo hand. Damn it. So think logically. Okay. All right. But the most important is that you don't have it out to where, where the handsy cultures can be like, oh, what's that? Yeah, right? They used to have these little, oh man, they're like little potpourri containers, little wire potpourri containers.
Yeah.
For a point in time there, I used to have a variety of different little hands, and I would keep each one in a different little potpourri thing in my sock drawer so that they wouldn't actually be touched, you know. And I mean, it was I was real extra, but you could be extra too.
Here's how.
So the other thing is that what happens if somebody touch your mojo hand? Okay. Well, somebody touch your mojo hand. You know, there's not a short of fabric and gree and all this kind of stuff. So that should be a lesson to you. What was you doing that allowed this person to touch this hand? Lesson learned. Now, because the hand is a living thing, because you brought it to life with the living waters, you need to lay that thing to rest. Just bury it in the ground. You don't have to go all the way out to the cemetery and catch yourself a trespassing at midnight ticket. You know, if you want to leave it on Lakewood Church door, that's fine. You know. Yeah. So, think of different things. Now let's talk about formulation and stuff like that, okay? When do we want to do this? How do we want to do this? Okay? We're talking about those pentacles and stuff like that you guys are going to get a reference. But think about your days also, right? What are your days that are associated with power and with money? Thursday.
Oh.
Thursday is the day of business, of commerce, of prosperity, of luck. Thursday is the day of Jupiter. Jupiter rules. Wednesday is a day of communication. Real good to make agreements on that day. So we might want to negotiate on Wednesday and seal the deal on Thursday. And this is where you get into your longer workings. I might want to prep my mojo for this element on Wednesday, and then do my mojo for this element on Thursday, and then do a 7-knob spell from there where I map it out all the way back to next Wednesday and Thursday, and then my hand is set. You know, what's going on in the sky? Where is the moon right now? Is it passing through particular constellations? You know, that will help open the roads. So is the moon in Libra? Is the moon in Capricorn? Is the moon in Virgo? What is it in? What energy are we working with here? Now remember, the hours of the day are also ruled by planets. So you may want to consider that when you figure out what hour of the day you're going to be starting to do this work. Do I want to do it on the day of communication, which is Wednesday, in the hour of power, which is Jupiter, right? Or do I want to do this on the day of domination and power and finances, which is Thursday, in the hour of, and you can just go from there. Do I want to do it in the hour of Venus? Well, why would I do it in the hour of Venus? That's passion. Maybe you want to be passionate about how you bring in your money, right? Maybe that's your personal business or something like that. Or why would we want to do things on a Wednesday? What is that communication? That communication can be, what if you're in sales, right? You work on commission, right? So think about those types of things as well. So incorporate all those things. But the number one most important thing to the most successful of conjurations is always prior proper planning. Your formulation. You must formulate. You can't just put things together. You can just put things together. But I would hope that by that point in time you are very well seasoned in your craft and in your practice and in what you're doing. And I will begin to challenge you through some times by just throwing things at you, and you gotta figure it out right there on the spot with what resources you may have just on the table. It's a game that my elders used to play with me called Figure It Out. They just hand you a paper bag. Mama Lilith, the Big John, would just hand me a paper bag with some random items in it and say, protection, figure it out. Prosperity, figure it out. Ooh! Okay. So think about that. And in order to be that good, you got to practice this in all that you do. Okay? So formulate. Think about what your intent is. Okay? Tonight we worked with prosperity, opening the roads. Right? And because we knew what elements we wanted, we knew what elements we could bring in. And even the elements that we brought in, we didn't even bring in all the elements. Like I said, on this one, we left a couple of things out. On y'all's, I'd like for y'all to add them for this, to get the practice of adding them. But just go with that. But you knew what you needed, okay? Plan it. I cannot stress it enough. Plan it, okay? Any questions?
I did want to ask, because, for the future book and all. When we're using a gree bag for working roots on someone, as far as them not touching it, would you hide it where they wouldn't see it, but on their property, or if you're just...
Wait a minute. So this hand is not for you. This hand is for what now? You're not going to carry this one on you, is what you're saying, right?
Right.
This one you're laying tricks on somebody.
Yeah.
Like so you throwing roots.
Yeah.
You gangster.
It's for the book. It's
for the book. It's for research purposes only.
Yeah. But I'm just assuming, since when the gree bag is for you, nobody can touch it when you are throwing roots at someone.
So that would be what we would want to call a packet. Not really a mojo hand. Okay. The mojo hand is for good. The mojo hand is for you.
Right.
Cabrón. The packet is that gangster shit that you throw it at their door in the middle of the night, and we'll get into the packet. I'll tell y'all a little bit about the packet. The packet, because I hear everybody out there, their little ears going, I want to know too. Those are traditionally like where you would cut out a pepper and you would stuff that pepper with something. Or you wrap something in a pepper and you would throw it or bury it, in the front yard or whatever, stuff like that. Yeah. That's different than the hand. Okay. Good question, though. Any other questions?
Okay, so when you're making a hand for someone else, for their prosperity, would you tell them the same thing? Don't let anybody touch it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So it's the same rules that go for you, but if you're making it for someone else, you're telling them.
Okay. Yep. And because if you're making it for somebody else, then really at that time you need to also incorporate that element. You need to be saying that you are not for me. You are for Jane Doe, John Doe, my client. I am just a servant, making you, creating you, developing you.
In that case, when you can incorporate them, like have them bring you the material of their choice.
Okay.
So it's coming from them.
Oh, yeah.
Or even like something personal of theirs.
They can do their own petition.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Add that to it. Cool.
All good things. Okay, any other questions? What time is it? Y'all have 30 minutes. Go. To everybody out there in TV Landia, if y'all have any questions, y'all feel free to reach out to me. I hope you enjoyed today's little lesson. And I love all of y'all. And much prosperity, love, and blessings to you guys.